It's about my own love of the creation, but also my huge concern for the world that we're leaving our kids and our grandkids and the most vulnerable in the world. Just seeing what's happening and doing, at this point in my life, I want to spend whatever energy I have left trying to mitigate the worst impacts of climate change and do as much positive as I can. So I know from the Bible that God loves his creation. I know from my own experience that I love the creation. I find it really hard to understand how people can love the creator and not want to nurture and love this creation. Yeah, I always say that the first step is to find a group of folks in your congregation, and this is how the Climate Witness Project is organized. Find a group in your congregation that wants to work on this together. And then think about, where in my congregation, where can we have a big impact or a good impact, positive impact? And one of those four areas, or all four of the areas that are pillars. So worship, education, energy stewardship, and advocacy. So often energy stewardship is the easiest one to get started with because most churches are not that energy efficient, and there's usually kind of low-hanging fruit there. And nobody objects to becoming more efficient because it always saves money too. So that's a great way to get started. And a lot of times people will say, well, I wasn't that interested in this, but now that I see how this has benefited our church, it's freed up money for other mission work. Tell me more about the climate crisis and what we can do. The whole purpose of the Climate Witness Project is to help congregations do this work as a congregation. So we want to provide resources and encouragement and advice and anything we can do to help an individual congregation to do this work. And then within a region, for instance, in Michigan, and we kind of got derailed by COVID, but we were meeting 3 times a year and sharing what we were doing and trying to figure out what we could do together. So that's really important too, and it proved to be just incredible. These meetings, I just loved them because I would always learn something just so amazing. Like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you're doing that. I had no idea. And so that was wonderful to hear people sharing those things. So sharing what they're doing as an individual congregation, but then also thinking about what can we do together in West Michigan as a group of congregations. The fact that so many young people are engaging in this work gives me a lot of hope. The fact that it's just become such a public thing, and so many people are now writing books about it, and so many corporations are involved in trying to figure out what to do in terms of technology. The fact that the big three automakers are all moving to electric vehicles now. There's just lots of reason for hope. Because the impact is so huge. So if we were able to put a carbon fee and dividend in place, that would have a huge impact on the amount of greenhouse gases um, that are emitted. If we were able to build an EV charging infrastructure, just like in the state of Michigan, that would have a huge impact on the number of people who go to EVs, electric vehicles. I think I look at a lot of the legislation as both protective and also, promoting. So I think the government does have a role in promoting the use of renewable energy and reducing greenhouse gases. Um, and so, just because the urgency is so great, so we can't just dilly dally or wait for the free market to take care of it. I think the government does have a role. So I'm very interested in people's individual behavior changes, lifestyle changes, but not because that has the major impact on the environment, but because it engages people. So if I'm starting to reduce my use of plastic, if I'm putting solar panels on my house, if I've got some skin in the game, I'm much more interested in, well, what else can we do? And really the most important work I think is at the policy level. And so, getting the United States on board with the Paris Agreement, and then also engaging at the state and local level with policy change that can have big impacts on the climate.